Alright guys and girls, welcome to another episode of Astral Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? And say hello, look at my glasses and shades, maybe they refer, you see Civi in the background. Yeah, buddy. Alright guys and girls, behind me I got a 2006 Mercedes-Benz CLS 500. And what we're going to do today is show you how to replace the front right air shock. Coming up on Astral Auto Repairs. This channel is a member of the Astral Stars, which means we have a zero-tolerance policy against the harassment of others. Anybody who violates that policy will be banned. For further information, please visit www.theastralstars.com. Alright guys, number one, safety. Safety is important. First thing we do, take your hydraulic jack at the right side of the car. Then, don't stop there, because if you skip the video at this point, you just suck. You're going to cause problems. Alright, then you want to take your jack stand. Now this is very important, guys. Notice, I got my jack stand right here. Here's the lower control arm, and here's the frame of the vehicle right there. Set it on the frame right there. Don't set it on the lower control arm. Set it on the frame. And you want to make sure you have a nice, solid base for your jack stand. Right now I'm on concrete. That's cool. If you're on grass or dirt, you want to get you a nice plywood. Now I said that because not particle board, not that stuff that look like pieces glued together. You want to get a nice solid piece of plywood and put it up under the jack. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, next thing you do, get your poor man, get your poor man's creeper. That's your cardboard. Get you some cardboard, guys. This stuff is great. It's just great cool. All right, now we're going to take off the tire. The tire is held on by 5 17mm bolts. Not the lug nuts, bolts. There's no studs on there, so don't think they're studs. Let me show you what I mean. And what I'm using is a 17mm deep, 1/2-inch drive with my impact gun. Now, you see, these are bolts. So when you take this off, you got to be careful that when you get your last one off, just make sure you hold the tire good and get it off. All right, let's get this off. Let's take the tire off, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, the next thing you're gonna do is take you a 10mm deep 3/8 drive socket. And guys, I want you to guys make sure go get you a nut driver, one of these cordless nut drivers. This is a Makita. You don't have to get a Makita. Go to Harbor Freight, get you one, and then you want to get you an adapter set that you can fit and put sockets in there. It's 3-piece, like $4 or $5.99. It has the 1/4-inch, 3/8, and the 1/2-inch. So you can just go ahead, put it up, and then you can put your sockets on it. Makes your job a whole lot easier. So I'm going to use this, or you're going to use a 3/8 drive ratchet, and you're going to have two 10mm nuts. One right here, and we're going to take that one off. And then the other one is right up here. You're going to go ahead and take that one off. Alright, now what you're going to do here, from the bottom of your strut, there's this is an electrical wire right here. Make sure. Yeah, this electrical wire right here. This thing goes all the way around, and it plugs up into it snaps into a little grommet right here. Can you see that right in there?
Little grommet, yeah, okay.
And just reach in there, and you can pop that out of the grommet. Then it goes around behind this cover. So what you want to do is carefully take this wheel well out of the way. And watch the harness right here. Go into your level sensor. So you want to make sure you get it out of the way of there. Watch right about there, because you see it pushing up against the bar right there. Get that out. And take the whole thing and pick it up. You know what, guys? I'm going to have to take off more because I need you to see. Let me see if I can bend it up. If you bend it up, you're gonna see two connectors right there.
Okay.
Actually, it's 3, one on the other side. This is supposed to be pushed up into there, but what you want to do is take it out, turn it around, and this is the connector you need to disconnect. Now, also you have to do is just take that, and you're gonna
along with the yellow.
yes. What you're gonna do is twist that. Oh, let me get right here. You're gonna twist that because it sets in like a. This sucks, man. You know what, guys? Let me pop this out of here. This thing twists in there, and then it's supposed to come right out. But of course, this is giving me a hard time. I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. Kind of positioned better out of the way now. Now, first of all, what we're gonna do is unplug it. You got that connector right there. You got a tab right there. Squeeze that tab into the connector, and then pull back. Okay. Next, this thing was on a slot. It's like a slide. So I'm gonna push the connector back that way. Okay. And as you can see, it slides right along those grooves right there. All right, put that to the side. Bring that connector out. And then you can put your wheel well back in there. For now. Put that out the way. Put this back in there. And we'll be right back. All right, guys, the next thing you do, take your hydraulic jack, set it right up under your lower ball joint. And you want to get you a nice block of wood because your hydraulic jack, when it meets that, it will bend this. So you need to take up some clearance from that. So you set that up just like that. And then, if I can see in here, jack it up till it right on the lower ball joint, and you just want to pick it up just so it just picks up just a little bit. That's it right there. Now lock it into place. Now, over this side, I'm not sure if you can see where my finger is, pointing to a nut right here.
Yes.
This is the nut and a bolt that's holding on to your strut right here. So this bolt, the nut right here, is a 21 millimeter. So what you want to do is grab you a 21 millimeter wrench. I don't have one, so I'm using a 13/16. Now 13/16 will work, but it will fit up there really snug. So you gotta make sure that goes up there.
You don't have a 21 millimeter wrench?
Nope. All right, next you're gonna get a 21 millimeter socket, 1/2-inch drive shallow on the other side. Now what I'm gonna be using is a wobble extension. Now these are the wobble extension. What I like about a wobble extension is when the socket goes on it, the socket can now swivel back and forth. Now, the only reason why I'm doing this because I'm going to be using an air gun. If you're using a 1/2-inch drive ratchet, you don't need that. You'll have the room. So I'm going to put that over here onto this side. In fact, can you see that good, or you want to come to the?
Well, I can see your socket, but I can't see where it's going. Let me get to the other side.
Yeah, not gonna be able to really.
I just like each shoulder, right? Sound good?
And if you want, I can just go ahead and get my 1/2-inch drive gun, and we're gonna take that bolt out and then holding this wrench so the nut don't keep spinning. Okay, we got that off. Now, go ahead, spin that right out. Now what you can do is lower your jack, because you're going to be lowering the whole spindle and all. Lower that down, just like that. All right, we're good to go. We'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're at the strut tower on top up under the hood. Got two connectors we need to disconnect. One, got an electrical connector. Now you have a tab right there that you got to push that tab down to the connector, just like that, and unplug it. Leave that to the side. Next you're going to need a 10mm wrench. Now it's going to be kind of tight to get in here, but you want to do is get that 10mm wrench in there, and you want to just screw this line in. Now you might hear some air, so what you want to do is screw it out till you hear air, and then let it loose, let the air come out, and then continue to screw that out of the housing, out of the strut. And there you go. It's out. You see that, Sibby?
Sure do.
Alright guys, put this to the side and we'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're ready to take our strut out. Get you a nice big hammer. Got a nice big hammer. And you're gonna hit the top of this really hard. It's gonna break the nuts off, because these nuts are holding it in. So you're gonna break all those off and get the whole thing out.
How long is this gonna go on for?
Alright, so what you're gonna do is get you a 13.
No, you should say no. Don't do that. This is what you do.
do the hammer thing.
No.
Alright, I'm just joking. No, I ain't. Alright, anyway, get the 13mm deep 3/8 drive socket. You got 3 nuts holding this on. 1, 2, and on the back side, number 3. So, now this is where your impact comes in. You want to take 1, you're going to take those off. Oh wait, that didn't work, guys. That didn't work at all. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to get our 3/8 drive ratchet and break that loose. That ain't really that tight. That thing should have took that off. Break that loose. Now I'm gonna switch over. Back to my paint. Now you want to get the one back here first, because that's the most difficult one to get to. So get that off, put it to the side. Get the one right here next, put it to the side, and now we're going to switch up, because what you want to do is go underneath. One hand's going to hold the strut from dropping completely out, and then the other hand's going to take this off. So let's switch our view, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, next thing you do, lower your hydraulic jack all the way down. Next, what you're going to do, what we have to do here is, our strut assembly is right here, but our lower control arm, can you see that good? Mm-hmm. Is in the way, because it's got to get over this. So what you want to do, now you can take your hand and push down like I'm doing right here, or...
Wait, where did you push down?
Okay, over here on the top over there.
Oh, okay, I was all the way down there.
Alright. No, you're going to have to get...
Up here by the rotor.
On top of the rotor, you can push down, or here's an easier way, guys. Get you a long pry bar. You want to take your pry... come over this side, because you're going to see where I'm sticking the pry bar at. You want to take your pry bar, stick it right. Here's your lower control arm right here. You can see where I'm at.
The bottom bucket. Okay, yeah.
Put it right inside there, just like that, and go over the torsion bar right here, or second lower control arm. So in this way, you can use this to pry down. Now what you're going to do is one hand's going to pry down, and what you need to do, now you can go back to the front where the strut is. Now what you're going to do is push down until you can get that strut over to the other side of this. And it's good to have 2 people, or a better pry bar.
Don't use Milwaukee.
This sucks, but she's right. Twist this thing, man. Dang it, this thing. You know what? There we go. All right. Just like that. Now, what you're going to do is one hand is just going to hold the strut up, while the other hand takes out the last 13mm nut. take that nut out. Go down here. And look at this. This gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. This thing is stuck up in there. Alright, tell you what, give me the pry bar. And go right up in here. Take our strut assembly out. And there we go. Alright. Let's go match it up to the old one and we'll be right back. To the new one, yeah. And we'll be right back. Alright guys, here's our new one. Looking good. Customer bought it off of eBay. $200 something, I believe. And take a look at them. They look the same. And notice this, guys. See this right here? And this one, that's tight. So we're good. And I noticed, hey, wait a minute. Connector's a little, well, okay. So what we're gonna do here first, let's take off the 3 nuts. And guys, you know what? Because this one don't twist, and this one does, I think we're gonna install this a little bit differently because I twisted that to get that out, and I don't want to do that with the new one. So we're gonna take the nuts off, and what I think what we're gonna do is separate the upper control arm to get this thing back in there, so we don't damage nothing. So let's get these off, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're gonna make this. We're gonna separate it right from here from the upper control arm, so we got more room to get in here because I don't want to mess that up. So we got a 16mm nut right here. I got a 16mm socket, 3/8 drive with my 3/8 drive cordless ratchet. Go right here and remove that. Then we're going to use a method called shock and awe. You're going to hit right here on the spindle, and it's going to shock this so much that the upper control arm is going to bounce right out of there. Now what we're going to do is put the nut here for you guys who don't have great aim and all. You hit them threads, you done for. So then we get you a nice size hammer, and remember, you just want to hit right there until you see it pop out of there. And also I got my hydraulic jack up under the lower control arm to keep this in place. Take it. So I popped out, and the nut kept it right there in place. And once you do that, go ahead, push that down, take that off, and it'll bounce right out of there. Let's put this nut back up on there so we don't lose it. Then we can go ahead and drop this lower control arm even more. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, next thing we're gonna do, on your new one, it's got this little plastic piece right here. We want to remove that just so it don't, and that's all this thing right here, I don't know what the heck. Just pull it out right here. That's it. Put that to the side. Now we're going to putting our strut up there. And you want to make sure this cylinder is facing towards the front of the car. So we're going to set this up there. Set it between the upper control arm up into the housing. And I'm going to let it rest for a minute, because I'm going to get one of the new nuts. I'm gonna take my hand, and I'm gonna my right hand, left hand is gonna be picking this up, and I'm gonna be guiding this to get one of those lined up. Whoops! Got this bracket there. Let's put that on. All right, and that's gonna hold it into place. Then we're gonna get our other two. The back one on. Now on this front one, if you notice how it looks like it had a washer on it or something, it's that washer. Then we're gonna pick that up like that, and start that one. Just start it off by a couple threads just to keep that up into place. All right, we're right back. All right, ready.
Oh, I thought
we all
you said
going?
ready.
Yeah. All right. So we got miscommunication there. All right, guys. Next thing we're gonna do is we got to get our strut over that lower control arm. And now that we got the upper control arm disconnected, it's a lot easier to push this down and get that right over it. Perfect. Now, what we're gonna do, let's get that 21mm bolt. Goes right through there. Okay. Get the nut on the end of it. Just hold that in place. Now what we're going to do is go up here, take off the nut to the upper control arm, swing our whole spindle back over. We're going to jack up now. A little bit. Bring it over. Push our upper control arm into the spindle. Take our 17mm nut, 16mm nut, and put that on. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys. Now you're gonna take your 16mm shallow socket. Now, when you tighten, this is a lock nut right here. That's why you don't see no cotter pin or anything. What you're gonna do is, when you tighten this up, you gotta push down on this because it's a good chance that when you tighten up the nut, the whole shaft inside the joint will spin. So you want to push it down, and the reason why you're doing that is because that joint is made concave like this, and so is the opening. So when you push down, you make that thing tight. So push it down, and if you want, nah, don't try to. I'm not gonna tell you to use a pry bar because you go back there and stick that strut. You looking crazy in the face. All right, go ahead, tighten that up, and with a ratchet, you want to go till it stops, and then a little bit more. Perfect. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, next thing we're gonna do is tighten up our 3 13mm nuts. Now, I'm using my cordless impact to tighten it up. Now, if you don't have one, what you're gonna do, let's get my ratchet. This is how you're gonna tighten this up, guys. Let me go this way because you can see this one better. Bring that in, and what you want to do is go till it stops, and a little bit more. That's it. All right, we'll get the back one done, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, now we're going to tighten up that 21mm nut and bolt at the bottom to get our wrench. Again, I'm using a 13/16. Then, I'll use my impact on the other side. Let's get that situated. And we're going to tighten that up. Good, guys, that is perfect. Now we can take our hydraulic jack down, and let's get this out of the way, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, now we got this connector right here, and this looks a little different. Let me pull this off. Okay, cool. All right, so now we know we gotta. This goes around the sway bar. Dang, that wire looks kind of short. Dang, that looks kind of short, but I guess it's... Then I gotta snap it inside that clip, but... No, this ain't right, guys. Because... Dang it, that ain't right. This thing looks like... let's try to push that into that clip and see. Okay. That looks kind of tight. It looks like it's pulling up against this right here, against that, pulling out that cylinder. Okay, so let's fold this back out of the way. Okay, let's see if I can get out of here. Let's make sure you can see and I can see. Alright, we got our connector here, and It goes on the opposite side. Okay, let's slide this onto the bracket. Okay, let's get our connector and plug that up. Okay, and as was said before, this is supposed to be like latched up into there, hooked onto that. But good thing the cover will keep it back in place. I guess it's been doing it. Alright, now let's take our inner fender well, bring it back into place. Carefully go around the harness right here to our level sensor. Don't want to damage that harness. Okay, go back there. Alright, now we have this one right here. This is to keep this harness from coming out and hitting up against the tire. Let's get our two 10mm nuts. And these nuts are plastic, by the way. So we got one right here. And we got one right up under here. You can see up under there? Mm-hmm. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, now I got my 10mm deep with my cordless impact. And these things ain't really tight because just like I said, they're plastic. So I'll just bring it in just like that. Get this other one. Alright. Alright, now this is a good time if you took your tire off and if you didn't follow my instructions, you probably have bent your backing plate already. And your backing plate is probably rubbing up against your rotor. So this is a good time to check it to make sure that it is away from your rotor. This was actually too far. This one should be up a little bit. Alright, everything is good. Let's get our tire and put this tire back on. We're right. Alright guys, being that these things got bolts on it instead of lug nuts, it's kind of difficult to put these on. So what you want to do is sit down, you want to look at your bolt pattern there, see where it's at, and you want to try to make sure when you pick this up, you line up those bolts. Line up one of them, because if you try spinning it while it's up there, the rotor will spin as well. Grab one of them, grab your socket. And once you can get one started, and definitely guys, going by a couple hands by thread, a couple threads by hand, you can mess that up. Alright, let's get the rest of them in by hand, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, now when you tighten it up, you want to tighten it up in a cross pattern. You don't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because in case there's any rust, corrosion on the back of this, if you tighten it up, the rotor's going to set crooked, the tire's going to set crooked, and then when you're going down the road, it's going to be wobbling everywhere. So what you want to do is bring one in to set it, and then you want to skip a bolt. Either skip that one or skip that one. Go to the next one, and then tighten it up like that. And that way you know the tire is flush completely. Alright, got that out. Let's get our cardboard, our poor man's creeper out of the way, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're on the top. Now, your new strut's going to come with one of those in there, the fitting in there. You can just actually screw that right out. It's not tight or anything. Just pop that right out. Match it up to your old one. Make sure the threading and everything looks good. And actually guys, what I want you to do is, you see that little rubber O-ring? That little rubber O-ring seals the air. So what I want you to do is take it carefully and try not to use a screwdriver or anything because you don't want to mess that up. Just take that O-ring off and you want to put it on to your line because this one does look kind of flattened out at all. And this one you can use a screwdriver or something to get it off if you wanted to. So let's come off. So let's get that off. Dang it. Alright, yeah, definitely look at that guy. That thing is definitely flat.
Where is it?
Huh? Well, where is it flat at?
It was since your gloves are black, it was hard to see it. Yeah, okay, I see it's flat.
Alright, so let's get our new one, and just you want to roll and try not to use a screwdriver or anything sharp to mess that up. Look at that, that is perfect. Alright, let's get that in there. And let's get our wrench and we're going to tighten that up. Alright, we'll be right back. Okay guys, that is tight. Perfect. Let's get this thing plugged up. Watch this thing don't plug up the same way. Alright guys, now let's slowly lower this vehicle down. So let's get our jack stand from under there and lower it down, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I let it down. You see the car, you see it's low. Now I didn't let it down all the way. I didn't want to have this thing come poof all the way down. I got it right about there. So now I'm going to start the vehicle up, and we're going to hope that this thing picks this up. All right. How long does it usually take you? I think I just heard the pump. I think. Or it might be wishful thinking. Come on, pick up. You know, I wonder, maybe I gotta clear the codes out more. Because there probably is a code for this. Way now. There we go. They said that's Tim picking it up with that jack. It's yeah. You know that's what they're saying. They said that's Siggy doing that. Look at that, guys. Oh yeah. Perfect. Leveled right out. Cool. Alright, what I'm going to do right now, guys, we're going to clear the codes out of it. So there probably is a code in it. And we'll be right back.
Alright, so today we had a 2006 Mercedes CLS 500. And we showed you how to replace the front right air shock. In this situation, the reason why we had to replace it is because the driver hit a real big pothole, I think it was, right?
Well, actually, he's something sticking out of the ground.
Something sticking out of the ground and popped the airbag. So that's what happened. So if you guys have any comments or questions, you can post it below in the comment section, or you can email Timmy at tim@astrolautorepairs.com. Hope you paid attention. If not, watch it again. This is Sylvia from Astro Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. See you next time.